All right, let's get right into it. Have you ever looked at your massive to-do list, worked all day, and still felt like you got nothing important done? If that sounds familiar, then you're in the right place, because we're about to break down one of the most powerful productivity methods out there. Man, that hits home, doesn't it? It's not about being lazy or not putting in the effort. It's about where all that energy is going. So let's figure out what's really going on here. Okay, first things first, we have to talk about this trap that so many of us fall into. It's this sneaky thing called productive procrastination. It feels like you're getting a ton done, but it's actually holding you back in a big way. And this right here lays it out perfectly. Being busy is easy. Clearing your inbox, tidying up, those things give you a quick little hit of satisfaction, right? You feel like you did something. But being productive, that's about tackling the big stuff, the things that actually move the needle in your life and career. And this is the core feeling of the busyness trap. It's this illusion of progress. You're checking off a bunch of small, easy tasks, while that one big, important goal just keeps getting pushed to tomorrow, and the next day, and the day after that. So how in the world do we break out of this cycle? Well, it all starts with a simple, maybe a little weird, but an absolutely game-changing metaphor. Let's talk about your frog. And there it is, straight from Mark Twain himself. The idea is brilliant in its simplicity. If you do the absolute worst, ugliest, most difficult thing on your to-do list first, everything else for the rest of the day is going to feel like a piece of cake. Now, this is the crucial part. Your frog isn't just any old hard task. It is your single most important high-impact task. It's that one thing you know you should be doing, the one you keep putting off, that will make the biggest positive difference for you. Okay, so knowing what your frog is, that's one thing. But how do you actually find it in your jungle of a to-do list? And more importantly, how do you conquer it? Let's get into the step-by-step strategy. See, we can't just guess what our frog is. We need a system, a way to reliably spot the tasks that are going to give us the biggest bang for our buck. And this is where a classic, powerful idea comes into play. This brings us to what's known as the Pareto principle, or maybe you've heard of it as the 80-20 rule. The idea is pretty simple. For almost anything in life, about 80% of your results will come from just 20% of your efforts. Your frog is always hiding in that top 20%. This is the question you have to start asking yourself constantly. Before you jump into any task, just stop and ask, is this really one of my most important activities? Or am I just doing something easy from the bottom 80% to feel busy? All right, so you've used the 80-20 rule. You've spotted your high-impact tasks. Great. But what about everything else on your list that's screaming for your attention? Well, now it's time to get ruthless with a system called the ABCDE method. This system is a lifesaver. Your A tasks are your frogs. You absolutely have to do them. B tasks are things you probably should do, but here's the golden rule. You never do a B task when an A task is still sitting there. C tasks are nice to do, but have zero real consequences. D is for delegate, E is for eliminate. Simple, right? But so effective. And here's where it all comes together. This isn't about waiting for motivation. It's about building discipline. First, make it a non-negotiable habit to start your A task, your frog, right away. No coffee, no emails, just start. Second, stick with it. Don't multitask. Focus on that one thing until it is completely done. This avoids what scientists call attention residue, which is basically when your brain is still stuck on the last thing you were doing, making you less effective at the new thing. Okay, now get ready for a twist. What if I told you that procrastination could actually be your secret weapon? I know it sounds crazy, but let's dive into this really powerful counterintuitive idea. Just let that sink in for a second. Everybody procrastinates. The most successful people you can think of, they procrastinate too. The difference isn't if you put things off, it's what you choose to put off. This is what's known as creative procrastination. We all know what priorities are, right? But I bet you've never heard of posteriorities. These are the things you consciously and deliberately decide to do later, or maybe not at all. High performers are absolute masters at identifying their posteriorities, all those low-value tasks in the bottom 80%. This is the ultimate power move, becoming incredibly comfortable with saying no. No to tasks that don't serve your biggest goals. No to distractions. You are purposefully procrastinating on the small stuff so that you have all the time and mental energy you need to crush the big stuff. So let's bring it all home. Why does this all matter so much? Let's talk about the incredible results you get when you make eating your frog the very first thing you do every single day. And the payoff here is just huge. You're not just getting one thing done, you're kickstarting this amazing positive feedback loop. When you knock out your biggest, ugliest task first, you get this massive surge of accomplishment and momentum that literally carries you through the rest of your day with more energy and more confidence. Ultimately, what this does is change your entire relationship with work. Your day no longer starts with that feeling of dread and avoidance. Instead, you start with a win. And when you start with a win, everything that comes after just feels easier. You go from just being busy to being truly, deeply effective. So I'll leave you with this question, and I want you to really think about it. What is that one task, that one frog, that if you finally did it tomorrow would make the biggest positive difference for you? Don't just think about it. Identify it tonight. And then tomorrow morning, eat that frog. It just might be the start of the most productive habit you ever built.